Hey, everyone, and welcome to the Mark Prater podcast, where our aim is to connect our global family of churches with our executive director. All right, let me get this out of the way first. I realize my hat is fire.
Yeah,
Sixers are
fire.
playing tonight, game 3. They
Yeah.
will beat the Hawks. They're going to win the
Okay.
series in 6. Just wanted to, you're going to see this next week, but you have to understand the game hasn't happened yet. And so I
Right.
want you to respect my prescience in all of this. And also, this is for Garrett and Aaron down in Georgia as well, just
Of
so they know
course.
what's going on.
Right.
So
Exactly.
you just got back from Orlando from the leadership team retreat,
Yeah.
and as we talked about in the last podcast, you had the regional leaders in this time. You hadn't done that for a few years. So how did that go with your retreat, including the regional leaders?
The retreat couldn't have went better, Ben.
Great.
First of all, a shout out to the Sixers.
Yes.
I hope they win the series. We're going to see. But the retreat just went, I think, better than we anticipated. We prayed, and God did more than we could ask or imagine, as Ephesians 3 talks about. It was just a wonderful time being together as a leadership team. And for the first half of our retreat, all of the United States regional leaders were with us, and it was a sweet, sweet time. It was just good to laugh a lot. We laughed a lot together. It was good to just build relationally. We had the regional leaders start the retreat by just sharing updates from each of them, and what's going on in their regions. That was encouraging. It also what surfaced out of that are ways that we could pray for them. So we had some meaningful times of prayer, a couple different days in a row for some of the regional leaders, and that was just sweet. It was just the kind of fellowship that you want, and then just spending time talking about topics and issues that many of the regional leaders told me at the end of the time with us that it really did equip them to lead their region. So,
Excellent.
for example, we presented the global partnership plan to them, and we zoomed Dave Taylor into the meeting. It was just great for those guys to interact with Dave. Those regional leaders are excited about the global partnership plan that we're putting in place, and the Council of Elders will see in the fall. So that's just envisioning to just see what's happening in sovereign grace throughout the world right now. Jeff Percival just spent some time walking through some of the theological issues of our day related to things like gender identity and sexual orientation and complementarianism, just some of the things that we talked about. And Jeff just does what Jeff does so well. He just brings a theological perspective and precision that really will help our regional leaders be mindful of theological trends in our culture and even in evangelicalism, so that they can help the pastors in their region to guard their churches against any heterodoxy. So that was the effect of that session. Jeff also spent some time talking about how is a regional leader mindful of the preaching that's occurring in the churches in his region. And so we just kind of talked through that and how a regional leader can help pastors grow as preachers, which was really, really a helpful time. And then we gave Eric Trebetsky just time to talk about church planting, several initiatives he has going on that our regions can participate in. That led to some good Q&A about church planting. And I think those guys were just saying that was really, really helpful. And then we had John Payne and Jerry Mellinger talk about how did you develop future pastors and leaders in your region. And we've got a number of things that we're going to be implementing. For example, we're going to do a pastoral ministry interest meeting at the pastors conference on Tuesday evening after the main session that guys can come to. And John and Jared are working on a weekender where guys, we're hoping to do that in conjunction with the pastors college class. Maybe they come in on a Friday, they enjoy part of a class, spend the weekend in Louisville with the eldership there, and just kind of just give guys some exposure to what pastoral ministry looks like. So all those things we talked about are just some of the things we talked about with the regional leaders, and it was a sweet, sweet time. We're gonna do it again. They were asking if we would do it again, and we said yes, we're gonna do it again.
Excellent. Yeah, I talked to Ken Mellinger yesterday, fresh back from the trip, and he was just communicating how grateful he was for that time together. It's wonderful to see the collaboration going on there as well when it comes to extra local leadership. So those guys left and went home before you guys went home. And so leadership team, you guys spent time together for a couple of days then. What kind of stuff did you talk about moving forward?
Yeah, we had a great retreat together. By the way, it was Mickey's last retreat before he transitions out of his role at the end of August. And so we just took some time just to encourage our friend and just the wonderful ways that he has served Sovereign Grace, actually for decades. But in this situation, you know, the role that he has served in as director of church development. So that was wonderful and a joy for us to do. But we had a number of things that we talked about that were just very, very encouraging. One of them was developing future pastors, and that led to just an unplanned conversation that Dave Taylor was a part of. He zoomed in on another day about how do we plant churches in China. And essentially, one of the ways to do that is to plant churches here in the States. And so we put together this plan. Or actually, I've asked Dave after that conversation to have Andrew Lung, who is his assistant and a pastoral intern really at Dave's church, and Chinese, to just put together this proposal for us. Yeah. And we're really looking forward to see what's gonna happen with that. So that was an exciting conversation for us. And then Dave Taylor presented a proposal for a group he wants to pull together regarding reaching the unreached, which isn't a new category for us, but we're kind of rethinking it a little bit in terms of what we've learned and how we can go about this, especially with the new global partnership plan in place. So that was an exciting conversation that wasn't completely planned either. And then, you know, just as we expand globally, how do we function as a leadership team? What should that look like? And we didn't really fully answer that question. We had some good discussions, so that'll be a future leadership team agenda item that we will talk about. We also spent some time just preparing and reviewing and preparing for next fiscal year's budget and kind of talking through that a bit. So those are just a few of the things we did as a leadership team beyond laughing a lot and just having some meaningful time together.
That's great. So it's Friday, you just got back.
Yep.
And you're leaving again Sunday because next week, what's happening? Just real quick.
Next week, I'm really excited. It's kind of back-to-back retreats. I'm not going to do that again. I don't know why I planned it that way. But we've got a leadership development retreat next week, and gathering some of our pastors together to just invest into them because we think they're some of our future leaders, extra local leaders in Sovereign Grace. I just can't wait to do it.
Well, thanks for all your hard work, and thank you, leadership team, for taking time along with the regional leaders to think about, pray about, dream about what God has for us in the future in Sovereign Grace churches. And so just appreciate you guys. I'm sure we all do. And thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you here again, Lord willing, next week, but bye for now. Go Sixers.
Thank you for watching. If you have questions or comments, Mark would love to hear from you. For more videos like this, hit subscribe on YouTube or by email at markkprater.com.